I don't think he needs to be replaced. I love what he's doing, but I am concerned about if they're able, like I said, to take this organization from where they are, a good team before this season, and then take them to that next level, man. Because it's one thing, like I said, to go from we're bad, let me acquire rookies, young players to take us from bad to good, but there were just steps that they should have made to go to that next level that they haven't done.
I think so. Look, and I'll give them the benefit of the doubt right now at this point. Now, we'll give the benefit of the doubt certainly to Taylor Jenkins. But now they have to figure out how can they salvage this season.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be waving the white flag 8 games into the year.
Yeah.
What are you telling your fan base, people who bought season tickets?
What do you tell John Morant, who'll be back after 25
Exactly.
games?
Now, if you're hanging your hat on everything's going to be honky-dory when Ja comes back, it's going to be a lot better because he's one of the best players in the league.
Right.
But it doesn't fix every problem that they have. Now, it's interesting what's going on with Bismack Biyombo because Bismack Biyombo, while he's certainly not Steven Adams, could plug the hole here because he's a defensive guy who rebounds the basketball, takes up space, blocks shots, and sets screens. Xavier Tillman has been a solid part of that team, but he is a backup.
Right.
They got to figure out in 17 more games when Ja comes back. If I did my math right, I think I did.
Yeah, we got 17 more to go.
They got to figure out if Bismack is the right guy because now if you have Bismack who's keeping them okay down low, Jaren plays 4, not the 5. That experiment doesn't work.
No.
He's a 4. And Ja comes back with Dez, with Smart, Kennard, Santi off the bench. It's a pretty solid team. But if that happens, you have to cut a player. Or is there a trade possibility? And we go back to what I said about what do they have as far as trading chips? Well, the first-round picks anymore are not that important, it seems like, for teams. Again, what they offered in the offseason, 3, 4 first-round picks, whichever story you care to believe. It wasn't good enough. Obviously, you'd have to throw in a few players as well. But I think right now they have to really give Bismack Biyombo a good look, see where they are. If not, they have to do something. Because if they don't, again, all they're telling the fan base is we're dropping back, we're punting until next year. And nobody wants to hear that. Not from a team that's been second best in the West the last 2 years.
With the whole Biyombo thing, it looks like he's going to pan out. He, like you said, the things that he does, he's a lesser version of Steven Adams in a lot of areas.
Right.
So you would assume that they're not going to get rid of him when Ja comes back.
I think they'll keep him.
How would you handle the roster crunch at that point?
Yeah, that's tough. So it probably comes down, if they keep Biyombo and there's no trade, it comes down to either Junior, whose deal is only good through this past year, or through this year coming up, or maybe LaRavia. And then with LaRavia, you're admitting that you really blew it. Because that guy was picked in the late teens, right? 18, 19 in the draft a couple of years ago.
And you moved up and you moved assets to go get him.
You moved a lot of assets, right?
Which is so crazy, man.
So
hindsight to think about.
Yes. So does the pride get in the way or not? Which one do you need more? Well, LaRavia has dropped so deep on that bench. Lofton's getting some time over him. Now, I know they're different positions, but he's coming in. And LaRavia isn't coming off the pine now. I think it's going to be very hard for him to get back in the good favor. And Conchor's been out. He's still not playing. Santi just got back. So I would think right now there's a good chance they could cut ties with LaRavia. But I would think the odds would tell you that it would be Junior if they did not make a trade and they kept Biyombo.
I'm going to tell you what I think about that whole situation. Because everyone's like, okay, just waive Kenny or just waive Jake or whatever. I think they should be working now to make some type of consolidation trade to free up a spot instead of just waiving the guy.
Yeah.
If it takes Roddy in a pick or these two guys combined in a pick or 2 picks, they need to get at least one more dude on this team that can play basketball. Like, there's a lot of dudes on this team that just aren't NBA players, man.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I would bet that they are doing that. That they are looking at their options.
Which may be why we're seeing these guys so much. Because teams are, okay, can that dude walk? You know what I mean? Can he walk and chew gum?
I think we're seeing them a lot because they're running out of players.
Right.
Somebody's got to play in the damn game.
Yeah,
Come
man.
on.
It's tough times for sure, man, because like I said, that 2022 draft, that was the offseason where you had healthy Steven Adams, you had healthy Brandon Clark, You had Zaire. I mean, not Zaire. You had Zaire. Yeah, you had Zaire in the fold. He had a nice rookie season. If you had capitalized and played that offseason well, you probably would not be here. Even with the injuries, if you would have had a couple more guys who can just come in and play.
See, that's what drives me crazy when people talk about windows. Oh, the Grizzlies are so young. Their window is so wide open.
Yeah, it doesn't nearly look as big as it did.
You never know what's going to happen. Could anybody anticipate what Ja was going to go out and do?
Right.
Does anybody have that keen foresight to predict that Steven Adams – you over the top to get them back into the position to be a postseason team? And I'm saying postseason. I'm not even saying playoff. I'm talking about the play-in as well. Right now, you're on the outside looking in.
It's just kind of discouraging when you think about that in the climate era since they've been here. They haven't used the MLE on anybody. Like, they used it that first year with Tyus Jones, but it's like those are the type of signings that can just kind of really take your team to the next level when you're putting real talent around your I think you clearly identified in the guys that have been through here in this 5 years, I think they clearly identified the guys that are their guys. Jaren, Bane, and Ja are the guys they identified as being their guys, and I think that's correct. I don't have a problem with them moving off of Dillon or anything, but you have to bring in guys to replace guys though. Like you left like the cupboard extremely bare.